What up, though? It's your boy Willie Stylez in the building. Want to say hello?
Hey, everybody. I'm Chevy, the superstar, Siobhan, as you can see there. How are you guys doing today?
Hopefully, they're doing great because we are doing great because we are about to do the last final Falcon and the Winter Soldier recap and review. Welcome to the
Yes.
show.
Yes. Are y'all ready for this?
I know, right? Right? Are y'all ready for this? I mean, I know we've been ready to see how this thing is going to wrap up for the last couple of weeks or so, and it's definitely been a wild ride. It's definitely been an action-packed ride.
Yes, it has. That's true. That is definitely a fact.
And I think it definitely ended. It definitely ended well. I think they had us very satisfied with a lot of final battles, a lot of action at the beginning of the show. Even I think during the middle of the show, a few little final little scenes of fights, and then big reveals at the end.
Yeah.
And then ending the show with a brand new title of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So
Yes.
Looking forward to Captain America and the Winter Soldier season 2 eventually, or as we already have heard,
A movie.
Captain America 4, right?
Yeah.
So which I was thinking is they may opt for that title for the fourth movie, making it Captain America and the Winter Soldier the movie. You know what I mean? I was thinking, like, where do they fit in a Captain America and Winter Soldier TV show again? Outside of maybe doing it in 2023,
Right.
but I could also see them using Sam and Bucky in other shows and other movies before that happens, and then not really needing to do an actual show, but just jumping into a full-on movie at that point instead.
Right.
So yeah. So overall, how did you feel about as a spoiler-free review? How did you feel about the show?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the show at all? Or you just didn't like it as a whole package?
Oh, I like the show. I didn't like the final episode.
I mean, no, yeah, I mean that's what I meant.
Oh
You
yeah,
like
yeah.
whole...
No,
really?
I didn't like
really?
no, it was not the best. It was not the best episode to me. I didn't I don't know. Ever since you told me about them having to scrap the whole storyline, yeah. I'm noticing where they had to scrap it. It seems like they shot that whole episode in the quarantine, and you could kind of tell. There's a lot of unanswered things that happened that didn't just make sense to me. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it was like cool or whatever, and it ended on a good note, but I just didn't like the package that it was delivered in.
Got you. Okay. I can feel you there. And I can also see how some people may not have really appreciated certain parts of it, because there's a few complaints that I have about certain parts, and especially I'll get to that during the recap. But yeah, so I would say for the most part, most episodes for me were like, I would say 6s and 7s out of 10. Where no, I take that back, 7s and 8s, because I would say episode 1 and episode, what was the one that when Walker killed the guy?
Well, probably like
was that
4 or 5?
Yeah, so no,
so it was 4.
Episode 1 and episode 4, I would give like a 8 or a 7.5. The rest of them I would give like a 6.5. This one, I would probably still give it like a 6 or a 6.5. But I can see where somebody would rank it lower. You know what I mean?
IGN gave it a 5.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah. I think the excitement of it, of what's to come for me was what made it still exciting, still, worth the watch. And then I liked how action packed it was at the beginning. I got my, like I said, I have a few complaints here and there about that, but it was overall, I liked what they did, what the idea was there. I did like that. So that's why I still rank it pretty high. Definitely not one of the better episodes, but I still thought it was, on par with some of the slower episodes.
It kind of brought a lot of stuff together for sure. Mm-hmm. And it did ended up, we were thinking that it wasn't going to answer a lot of questions. And I feel like it answered a lot of questions, and it kind of left everybody's mind wandering as well for what's next and for what can eventually happen, and how characters can still be a part of the next series or the next movie, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And sometimes not that it's ruining it, but I think sometimes there's the Marvel effect itself is problematic in a certain way, because I think we always assume there's something next because there usually is something next, right?
Right.
And because now we understand the Marvel formula, we also expect expect the characters that we're watching to move on to something else, even if they don't have a movie themselves coming up, right? So now it's like, like at first, when we were first watching the show, I was like really excited for this to finish up, and then us to understand that there will be a season 2. Like I was really, really thinking like there's going to be a season 2. There's going to be a season 2. When they greenlit the movie, and actually not even just the movie, I think it was just the way they set certain things up by the end of the show. I was already thinking like, well, maybe not a season 2. Maybe not a season 2. Maybe these characters moving on to these other new shows, as well as Cap and Bucky moving on to doing other shows and other movies as cameos, or maybe even integrated into them, but maybe not a season 2.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm thinking maybe what is the people that you call the Suicide Squad of the Marvels?
The Thunderbolts. Yeah, the Thunderbolts.
They are probably going to be a show.
Yes.
And not a movie.
Yes, actually, that's going to be a show. Yep, that's actually going to be a show. It's already slated for Disney Plus. I don't remember if they have a date or not. I want to say they say it's in late 22 or early 23 is when that show should be coming out. And then the Secret Invasion show is already greenlit as well. That will be in 23, which is going to not introduce because we already have them. The Skrulls already there, but it's going to introduce this whole battle with the Skrulls and all this other stuff. So there's a lot going on, and a lot already planned. And I think sometimes that can be a little problematic in the fact that we're expecting these Easter eggs and these call-ups and these, well, not even Easter eggs. I think actually we always expect some big reveal or some big comment or statement or maybe a cameo to really tell us like, oh, this is definitely coming, or this is Armor Wars. Thank you, Clark. Yeah, Armor Wars is also slated. I believe that's also slated for 22. So there's, and that's the Don Cheadle is going to be doing the I can't think of his character's name.
War Machine.
War Machine. So War Machine, he's going to be having a whole show to himself as well, a whole TV show as well. So, which I'm expecting Sam to show up since Don showed up in this one. So, hopefully we'll see that happen as well. But I think that's the thing, is we usually expect cameos and big call outs, but as we can see, well, we got a little bit of that, right? We got a little bit of that, but then a lot of times Marvel is really good for just dropping mentions, right? Just dropping a little tidbit here and there, or maybe saying a certain thing, right? It's not always blatant, and I think that loses certain people, right? Because then they're like, they don't get it, they don't get what the comment is about, right? But the true fans do. And then the comic book fans are really like, well, I know what's coming next. I know what's coming next, that kind of thing. So I think sometimes that part of the Marvel formula can be a little problematic.
Yeah, I agree. But honestly, my gripes with the episode had nothing to do with like the story itself, like where they're going with the story. My gripes with the episode had a lot to do with like just errors in the story as it was told, the way things all came to be and came about.
Right.
It was some things that just didn't make sense as far as like how this person appeared, how this thing happened, No, this is not, what?
Right, exactly. Exactly. Well, it sounds like we need to get right into the spoiler recap. And I appear to be having a visitor for some reason. So I'm gonna start us into the spoiler recap. I'll let you start us off, but I'm gonna take a quick thing. So I'm gonna mute myself. Sorry.
No, you're right. You're all right. All right, so guys, the show opens up where we're back to the GRC has just been infiltrated by the Flag Smashers. And you have Carly, she's talking to her team, she's telling them the plan. The plan is starting to take hold. Bucky is already there. Falcon already knows what's going on. The news are there. The police are there. So we're coming back into this full force where we see everything that's going on from the perspective of our characters, but also from the perspective of the general public. Yeah, their faces when she told them the plan. Yeah, like, so Clark Nove said they faces when she told them the plan. Laugh out loud. Yeah, her plan. My gauge of Carly at this point was it's do or die. And at this point, we got to go all in because this is, either we going to do this now or we never going to do it again. So you got Bucky. Then for some odd reason, this random dude approaches Bucky while he's talking to Sam, and it's Sharon. So, but she's disguised in a mask. So, my thing was, okay, Sharon is here, but why? It doesn't make sense if she wouldn't come back with them in the first place when they asked, because she was scared that she was going to get extradited and put in jail. So now that raises questions like, what's really her angle? What's really her plan? Is she trying to stop the French dude whose name I don't know, but Willie does? So Willie, I was just basically telling them, we open up to the Flag Smashers infiltrating. Everybody knows what's going on, and I basically was talking about how a man walks up on Bucky and it's Sharon.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But my issue with that was, you're here now, but why? Because when they asked you to come back, you said no. Mm-hmm. So what is your angle? Who are you really? What are you trying to do? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think I think the weird thing about that too was she made the comment too about then people not looking for her, but before everybody was looking for her, right? It's like, right. Which is it? Are they looking for you or are they not looking for you, right?
Right. Or they won't be looking for me here because it's too much going on. But obviously you knew they weren't going to be looking for you anyway.
Anyway, yeah, exactly.
Because what I did realize about this show is she is a very mistreated character.
Yeah.
She is.
Oh, yeah.
And I totally understand her gripes.
About that later, too.
But see, Willie, that's my issue with this episode. The little Sharon's character is one of my biggest issues with this episode. Everything she did, how she was able to move, how she was able to get through, how nobody acknowledged anything or questioned anything about anything she did. It bothered me so much. And it kind of messed up the story for me because from the jump, I was kind of sitting there like, this is what y'all wrote into the script, and y'all thought that everybody was going to accept this because a lot of the stuff she did didn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. But that's just me. That's from a filmic standpoint, though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so her and Bucky go into the building, and mistake number one, Bucky takes that phone call, right?
Right.
And he's getting distracted. And we're seeing that, hey, DJ Stacy, appreciate you showing up. And then I don't know what you call them, just the other Flag Smashers. They're like moving people all around the building.
Yeah, because they infiltrate the whole. They work for the GRC. They're everywhere and nowhere, exactly. Like they like to say.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I thought that was weird that he stopped moving, knowing that all the stuff is going on, and he stops to take this phone
Yeah,
call. And
like
just
I have
standing
never
there.
seen that in any movie, TV show ever. Like usually the person is walking, peeking over the corners, like, I got you. Oh no, you ain't in there. Okay, let me keep
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I've never seen, but that just speaks
Hey,
to
son.
Bucky and
Mhm.
him not being too bright to me.
Yeah. Good point. Good
And
point.
her
He's not.
knowing that and her
Mhm.
using that to her advantage.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because that wouldn't have worked with Sam. Sam would have still been looked for.
Exactly. True
That's
that.
why they called Bucky.
Hmm. And even Sharon made a point like, Bucky, you had one job. Like, what was you
Right.
doing this
Like
whole
what
time?
what were you doing, bro? Like all you
Right.
had to do was follow them and make sure they didn't leave the compound. But you
Right.
did
Exactly.
the total opposite of that. You're not Sam. You don't have a camaraderie with her. You can't talk her off the ledge. You can't do that. And I think, that also speaks to him trying to find redemption and to
Right.
not being this killer and this punch first, ask questions later, like he was in the
Yeah.
first episode when him and Sam went on their first mission together, trying to take that different approach and trying to be more, let me, figure out what she's trying to do. Let me see if I can talk her down. But that's not his role. He is the muscle.
Right, exactly. Right, he should have been on point to make sure that everything was taken care of when it came to the Flag Smashers, to the Super Soldier Flag Smashers, as well as dealing with, like you said, that whole movement, what they were going through, moving the people out of the building. Because especially when they said, try to keep them in the building, it was like, okay, we figured that out, that she's trying to move them out. Stay on point. Stay focused on that.
So how did you feel about, Sam's big reveal of the suit and him busting
So
in?
so that was my first biggest thing, was that Sam was flying in, and when I saw kind of the look of the suit, I wasn't surprised, because unfortunately the internet, right, they were showing all kinds of renderings and pictures and stuff, which I kind of was like mad at that, but I was like, you know what, it is what it is. We got the leaks and all that kind of thing, but I was happy with the design. I really don't like the color because it's so white and so bright. You know
I
what I
don't
mean?
like the muscle neck. I don't like
Yeah.
the muscle
Yeah.
neck.
The cowl definitely got to go. Like
Yes, got to go.
I did not like the cowl at all. That half thing with his head exposed. Like, you're flying.
Yeah,
Like,
but
your head should not be exposed.
but his
while
head
you're
has
flying.
always been exposed like that.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like.
But let's protect the neck though, because if he falls on his head, then his neck will not break, but his brain will be splattered on the ground.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, what if you flying like this? What if something hit you in the head? I don't know. I never liked that. But then too, I liked the fact that the wings are now all vibranium, so they're a lot stronger. We saw that they're now bulletproof and helicopter proof, right?
Right.
So that was dope. He also was able to create a cocoon around himself. So there was that. Yeah, the goggles. I like the goggles because he also had kind of like that Stark style tech in the goggles. He was able to see different information, but he was also able to protect himself. They didn't look too crazy. They weren't the best, but they didn't look too crazy. And then what's the pepper thing?
That's my dog name.
Oh, okay. I thought she meant Pepper from Stark Pepper. But yeah, the biggest thing to me too, though, was that it was not well, I wanted it to be just like Black Panther's suit, being able to absorb. It didn't look like the suit was vibranium. It looks like the suit was just regular material. You know what I mean?
It's probably some like extremely better, like Dora Milaje type.
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, but it wasn't.
Where he can take more impact.
They would do that, but then I kept thinking about it like as many warriors as they have in Wakanda, nobody has that besides the Black Panther. So maybe that's why, right?
Yeah, no, they can't give him the same thing they gave the freaking king.
Exactly. So I thought about that later, and I was like, okay, all right, I guess it's, I can understand that it's not going to be the same technology because of that.
But it would bother me about the fight scene is like, you think that this is a better version of the suit. He has these wings. He has this shield. Why is it taking so long for him to take down this regular dude with no superpowers, no super strength? You got...
he was fighting Batroc the Leaper.
Yeah. In comparison to the fight he had with Carly, and the fight, he was barely fighting.
Right.
It just seemed like it wasn't a good introduction to him as Captain America.
Yeah. I was a little disappointed in that fight because one, Batroc the Leaper, he's a good fighter, but like you said, Sam had the better technology, right? He had the wings. Like, one thing I didn't understand is, like, when he was fighting Batroc, he didn't use any of the skills that he used against Walker. Like you said, even with Carly,
none
he was
of them.
using the jetpack and stuff, using the wings to sweep kick him and all that kind of stuff. He wasn't using any of those skills that we know he already has, right?
Right.
And then we only seen him use the shield like a couple of times, which was kind of dope. I did like that.
Yeah, I mean, he did good with the shield. I like when he eventually left the fight because he didn't win the fight. He left the fight.
Oh yeah, right. That was the other thing. He didn't even win the fight. He was literally losing.
Yeah,
he just decided to get up out of it.
It's time for me to go. And it was kind of just like, why didn't you do that? I don't know. That scene was weird. See, but this is the things that made me dislike the episode, because it was a lot of things that were weird that didn't add up to me. That was just kind of like, okay, so basically Walker was supposed to come. Bucky was supposed to try to be the savior. Sharon was supposed to get by herself to do her little misdeeds.
Right.
This is the setup. This is the setup. Y'all setting this up so Sam doesn't see what's going on, because maybe y'all don't want him to try to stop her or help him or do this or do that, so everybody can have their defining moments. But I liked Sam as Captain America. I loved it when he acknowledged the fact that he was Captain America, because it kept pissing me off when people saw him with Captain America's shield instead of saying, "Who are you?
Right,
who the hell do you think I am?"
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that, I took it two ways though. I did take it like, okay, they're saying, "Who are you?" because they're like, you got the shield, but where did you come from? Who are you? Who made you Captain America, or who gave you the shield, or whatever the case may be. But I also, like you said, I also felt like, y'all know who he is.
It's just because he's black, that's all.
Exactly. And then Clark, I thought about that, about maybe it's the whole bait and switch thing. And Sonny, I was thinking the same thing about him showcasing his fighting as not a super soldier. But the problem is that we've seen him make use of his technology to put himself almost at the same level as the super soldiers in terms of being able to fight them and handle them and that kind of thing. But with the bait and switch thing, I thought about that was like, when I watched it the second time, I was like, okay, maybe there was something he was doing when he was fighting Batroc that it was the reason why he went ahead and fought him but didn't actually win. I was like, maybe there's something going on there, but I still couldn't figure out why he basically lost the fight and then left the fight.
Batroc the Leaper is still out here to do more misdeeds,
running around doing whatever he wants,
and be the villain in the next movie. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And I thought about the learning the suit thing. I was thinking like, well, maybe there's something with the suit, but I was like, no, he was doing a bunch of stuff with that suit that that was either similar to what he did before, or he was taking advantage of the new technology where he did the shield over move with the helicopter. He did the stand your ground move with the wings to the back. He did that. It's like he already figured out this suit. So I'm like, I couldn't even justify that. So I don't know. I the fight, I don't know if it was just, I don't know. Like you said, weird. It was just weird.
It was weird, but it was also weird too. So okay, Bucky didn't get the people out. They got them in the trucks. These little bits on the trucks where they couldn't get out. Right. My issue with that scene as well was Sharon. Okay, so the soldiers with the guns just got all the people out of the building and put them in a truck. Random white girl bumps into you, soldier. You don't stop her. You don't ask her where she's going or coming from.
Right.
How? I don't understand how that's logical. Like,
Right.
that's not logical, because you just got everybody who you see is considered a hostage, right?
Right.
Everybody you see that you don't know is considered a threat. How
Yeah.
does this random white lady in this parking lot that you just emptied out
Right.
walk
Right.
past you and bump into you?
So I did justify that one with the fact that there were other people that were leaving out the front door. So I was thinking like, well, maybe he thought she was kind of one of them people that he didn't really care about, because he's already taken the hostages he wants, right? He knew specifically those people in that room that were in that room needed to get corralled and put into the trucks. So I was like, okay, he knows she's not one of them. She's not one of the delegates. And then there were people leaving out the front door. So I was like, you could justify like, oh, I was one of those people that just didn't know where to go, and now I'm getting up out of here. So I was thinking about that a little bit, but then I let it go because I was like, well, she could have been one of those other people, right? One of those randoms that they didn't really care about. So kind of left it up to that. But what I thought was weird was like when she told them what she did to subdue him using the mercury vapor. Like, they know what mercury vapor is, and they should know mercury vapor ate that man alive.
Yeah, because I'm like, she killed that dude.
Yeah, and they had no problem with it. Like, they didn't say nothing.
Or maybe they just didn't
okay.
think about it. But I'm like, she straight killed the dude, and conveniently nobody was around to see it. Mm-hmm. And that's not their goal. So we're not going to revisit that. Like, everything Sharon did, and I mean, I guess that's just a credibility to her name and who she was before she became who we will be discussing later.
Right.
Is that people trust her. They trust her because they don't feel like they have a reason not to. She hasn't given them a reason not to, because to her, to them, she is Sharon, and she hasn't given them a reason not to think that she's not who she says she is because of how she treated them when they was in Madripoor. But I believe Zemo always knew.
Yeah, so that was out that when we're gonna get to that part, I'm gonna talk about Zemo, but before we do that, so Clark, the one thing I thought about, I kind of thought about that, but then I was like, you know what? Besides when Sam was killing those guys in the first episode, during the flybys and stuff like that, which some of them I figured out did actually get away. They jumped out of the thing, parachuted away, but there was a few people that still died. The whole scene where most of the deaths took place was when Sharon was defending the whatever that cargo.
Yeah, she killed all them people,
but nobody saw her.
Right.
Only she knew what she did. She didn't tell them. All she told them was
she just said, I held them off,
exactly. So I was thinking about it like they never knew she was out there killing a bunch of people. They never knew. That's so I had to think about it like that. That's what the difference was. You know what I mean? It was like it's one thing for when they saw the way, especially the way Walker killed that flag smasher. For her, for like you just said, nobody saw her kill the guy. She just told them, "Oh, I used mercury vapor to subdue him." You know what I mean? It's like first thing in my mind is like mercury vapor kills people like that. That's deadly. And then we saw the stuff eating away the guy, and I'm thinking like they should know that. Like they should be like questioning her, like, what do you mean you use mercury vapor? Like, what was you thinking? Like, you know what I mean? But they never said anything. But then too, they weren't around. They didn't see it, right? It's more shocking when you see somebody, especially when they go crazy and kill somebody like that.
Yeah, because I think Sam would have said like, "Yo, you just killed that dude like that. Like, what's going on, Sharon? Like, what's the deal, bro?" Right.
Like exactly. So then we end up going over to the scene with Walker and Bucky versus the Flag Smashers. That one I thought was a pretty good fight. I didn't have too many issues with that. I did like the way that the Flag Smashers, the way the Flag Smashers teamed up against Walker. I did like the way that Bucky was holding his own. It was funny to me when Carly said, "Give him somebody to save. This is the way we're going to get, distract him. We're going to give him somebody to save," which was perfect. I thought
but he needed somebody to save.
Exactly.
He needed somebody to save, though. That was a redemption moment for him that helped him get through some stuff that he needed to be getting through. See, this is what Carly's character annoys me so, because in this moment as well, before John comes and they have to, stop what they were doing and fight him, we see a scene of her basically telling her people like, hey, if we gotta die, we gotta die.
Right.
If we gotta kill the hostages, we gotta kill the hostages. And they like, yo, wait a minute.
Right.
We supposed to be using them as leverage. Nah, whatever, man, whatever we gotta do. One world, one people, whatever. And they like, nah, one world. They like, nah, bro, like you are going off the rails. And she was going off the rails because her plan was unraveling. And her character is so, I can't even explain how two-sided her character is, because in one breath, she's trying to go for her mission and she'll do whatever she has to do to get to where she has to go, kill whoever she has to kill. But in the same breath, oh, I didn't mean to kill your friend, but it's because he didn't matter to me. Exactly. I'm sorry, Sam. I didn't mean to do this. I just was trying to do this. You know what I'm saying? Right. Her character, and I think it was because maybe she was played by a woman, so they had to make her be softer, because if she was a man.
I didn't she's got to be a Gemini. And I didn't think of it as her being softer because she's a woman. I think what I was thinking of, she was internally vexed in terms of she wanted to do, like she was telling Bucky, I want to do something bigger than myself. But then she also has in her mind this whole semi-vengeance thing where she's like, I gotta do whatever I gotta do by any means necessary. And if it means loss of life, loss of property, whatever the case, I gotta do it because this is the only way I can make a difference, right? So I think there was this conflict, this internal conflicts, basically, and I think that's why we saw her flip flop so much, is because she was struggling with that internal conflict. You know, the conversation she had with Sam a couple of episodes ago, that was one of the bigger clues to me, is that the reason why I think that she had an internal conflict, because of the fact that she couldn't make this distinction about how she wanted to do what she wanted to do. She was basically like, I just want this to work. That's, that's all her thing in her mind is, I just want this to work, So he says, but isn't that how Thanos was, but more not able to really understand what she was doing? Exactly. Like Thanos had years to plot out what he wanted and how he wanted things. Remember, he said he was planning that out even as a kid. He saw the problem. He struggled with a bunch of different solutions, and he finally found a solution that he thought was right. And he started off on his path. And then when he got on that path, he realized, I'm not doing this fast enough, and now I need to find a bigger or an easier way to the end by any means. And then by the end, he was even vexed, and he even had an internal conflict, remember, because there was this thing of, he knows that he has to give up everything. He has to lose everything. And then when he did get his, to his goal, he lost everything. And he felt so bad about it, right? And I think that was the thing about Carly. We were seeing the same exact thing. It was like she had this internal conflict. She couldn't decide internally what she wanted, but on the outside, maybe that's what Sonny's talking about, that Gemini. Internally, she wanted to be soft. Out externally, she wanted to be hard. She wanted to show the people. She wanted to show the GRC. She wanted to show, she had to put this external face on, this mask, right, to show that she was going to get it done no matter what. You know what I mean? And we saw that in the first episode when she was at the safe house. She always had that. Look at her looks and her facial expressions. How sad and depressed she would always look. You know what I mean? But then when it was time for action, she was like, "Oh, I got to do this because we got to do this. One world, one people, whatever." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I like that scene too, because I think we got to see John's core as well. Because we ain't like him from jump, because who the hell is you? You are not my Captain America. But I'm not going to say we pegged the guy wrong, because he is a white privilege. He is a prime example of white privilege and privilege in general, because he was an exceptional man to most men, even though he wasn't a super soldier or a superhero. I just think that it spoke to the core of his being, that when it came to what he wanted and what he felt like he needed to do to be able to sleep at night, he still chose the people. He still chose to be a hero. And when he tried to pull that car back up, that's what he was doing. But ultimately in that scene, they also wanted us to know and him to know, but you're not Captain America.
Exactly. Yeah, and Clark, Walker wasn't working with the police. For some reason, the way they framed that shot, it looked like he was walking through the police, but I think they may have just let him through because they probably saw him and was like, oh yeah, you're the Captain America guy, but then he had that shield that, yes, he made himself in the last episode at the very end.
Really
if
good.
you go back and look at the end credit scenes, I think you said you have missed the end credit scenes, Clark. So if you told me that, I think that's what it was. So yeah, it was in the end credit scene, he put that shield together in his basement. Like,
it looked really good, but it only lasted for like 5 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah, the Flag Smashers smashed that thing up. And you can hear the difference in the sound too when he threw it. When he hit the wall, when they were stomping them out in it, it was all bad. No. It sounded like tinfoil basically.
But also when he came, they upped the ante. That was an interesting scene because that's the moment where everybody upped the ante. Everybody started fighting harder, and because there were lives on the line, and you could see the difference in everybody's attitude. The lives on the line for the Flag Smashers was they didn't really want these people to die. They needed them as leverage. You know what I'm saying? But we'll let them die, but we have to be at an act of us doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah,
and then Bucky and John trying to save these people because we can't let these people die because we are the heroes. So everybody started to fight harder. Everybody's true motivation started to come out. And then, we have this moment of, okay, Captain America arrives. Carly is pissed off at Sam because he's taking up this mantle, and now she looking at him like you're the enemy too. So now it's on, bro. Let's go.
Right. I thought that was interesting because at the beginning of the episode, it seemed like she was already well aware that he was going to come try to stop her, but that pissed her off more, seeing that he not only showed up, but he also took on the mantle of Captain America. And I mean, not that we didn't know from her other conversations which she had with what was that guy named Zico, whatever his name was, the one that died. She already told us back then, like, I don't like this shield. I don't like what this represents. I don't like the hypocrisy of this. And so for her to see that, it was like it just drove her over the edge.
Yeah, like it hurt her. It hurt her.
It did. I mean, and plus too, she already had this level of respect for Sam, even though she was trying to stop him from stopping her.
Yeah,
she did have a level of respect for him. That
she a kid. She a kid.
Yeah.
She's probably like 22, 24 at the most.
Yeah,
at the most.
Yep.
So then they go on a little cat and mouse.
Yeah. We see them end up in the basement again.
Also see that the tech is real because he can track their freaking footprints.
Exactly. That was dope. I like he had the infrared, or not infrared, what do you call it? Like the heat register. He can see the heat signatures. He can see the footprints. So that suit's dope. I love the suit for what it can do. I definitely love the suit for what it can do. I just want it to be black.
I don't like all that white.
I don't like all that white.
It's not cute.
And then we saw Bucky and Walker team up, which I thought was interesting because it was like he's starting to get his redemption. They're not, pushing him away. He finally got the team up he really wanted after all this time. And then so then we get to Sharon and Carly,
and we find out that Sharon is in fact
we get reiterated that Sharon's the
power broker.
So this was a big scene that really I thought was like I had a big gripe with because it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was kind of like you guys already knew that Sharon was the power broker. Y'all just didn't want to believe it. So guess what? Yes, she is the power broker. How do you feel? Exactly. I don't know. That scene kind of just made me be like, "Oh my God, Sharon, what is really going on?
Right?
Like, why?
What's really hood, Sharon? Because I don't understand. But we understand. But we don't understand.
Is rolling in her grave right now.
Oh man, Aunt Peggy is pissed.
Peggy is mad. She is rolling her grave because because basically when Carly was like, you wanted to make the world pay for hurting you, and we wanted to make the world a better place. I'm like, Sharon, you can't be the classic villain now that don't have no goal for real.
So that was my thing. She did not have, it sounded like to me like she literally does not have a big master plan. She's just literally like, I'm just here to make money. She's like, basically, I'm just here to make a bunch of money. I don't know what you're talking about.
Was hurt. She had connections. She went over there. She started doing what she had to do, and now she in it and she can't get out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that was the crazy thing to me was like she basically said that all they were was her muscle. That's all she needed them for. She wasn't getting them because she wanted to lease them out as super soldiers. She wasn't getting them because she wanted to do some big thing with them. She literally just wanted them to be bodyguards.
But I don't believe that, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's a line, and this is a line that made me not understand what Sharon was doing when the French guy comes. What's his name?
Batrock the Leaper.
Okay, Batrock the Leaper came, realized that because he didn't know her as the power broker.
No, he didn't.
I believe he knew her as Sharon Carter, to be honest.
Yeah.
And when he came and they had their little shootout, and Carly shot Sharon, and Sharon killed Batrock the Leaper. Yeah. You know, Sam came and he was like, "Oh, so you just gonna be killing people? You just gonna do that, Carly? This is just your answer to everything." But Carly looking at her like, "You didn't just see her shoot him." And then she's like, "So you don't know?" That's how Carly, because when Sharon shot old dude, Carly was looking at Sharon like, "Oh my God." And when Sam came, she looking like, "Oh my God, he don't know that Sharon is the power broker," because Carly didn't know that Sharon and Sam was
exactly. Yep, exactly.
So she looking at them and they looking at her. And then Sharon says this line when she goes to start fighting Sam. Carly, no.
Mm-hmm.
What is her motivation? Because you obviously care about her, because you don't want her to get hurt. But you just told her that you lie. You making some like Fugazi story. I'm sorry, I got my dog toy in my hand. Yo, some Fugazi story about how you wanted to change the world as well. So are you the power broker and all you care about is money? Or are you just jaded and your intentions at first were pure, but it got watered down by the life you had to live in Madripoor, and you realized that you couldn't be the person that you were prior, so you just accepted it and said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to be top dog. I'm not going to work for anybody. Because that line alone confused the hell out of me, because Carly know what? Carly know don't fight him. Carly know because he gonna kill you and I don't want you to die. Carly know because I want to work this out and I don't want nothing to happen to you. Carly know because I don't want you to tell Sam the truth about me. That line alone confused the hell out of me when I watched it a second time.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. I remember the line. I remember how it went down, because it was right after she shot Sharon, and then Sam shows up, and then they go to start fighting. And I mean, the motivation behind that line is definitely unclear. That is true. You're right. It's definitely unclear. And I think you're right in the theory of it's possibly her not wanting Carly to get hurt, or even better, like you said, her wanting to work things out to keep Carly under her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to look out for you. We're going to make this work. We're going to figure this out. And we're going to be a team again, that kind of thing. Because that's her goal. That her goal is to bring, and we talked about that last week. We were saying how we felt like Sharon's goal was to bring the super soldiers back up under her wings, or bring them closer to her, right? We didn't know what she was going to do with them at that point, if she was going to turn them over to the power broker, or if she was going to do something else to them. But we assumed that I think we more by the end of the show we were talking, I think we assumed that she wanted to bring them closer to her and possibly work with her or have them under her in her little organization, right? So we were right about that part. But now there is another theory out there that if you look at the scenes and you listen to the dialogue, that Sharon didn't actually admit that she was the power broker, because the only person who accused her of being the power broker was Batroc. Carly acknowledged that she knew Sharon. Sharon acknowledged she knew her. They never talked about being the power broker. Carly only made mention that, what about, if the power broker doesn't have these super soldiers, how strong is the power broker going to be? And she said, and Sharon agreed, but she never said that was her. She could still just be working for the power broker. You know what I mean?
No,
so that was like one of the theories. Is like maybe she's really not, and that was just an assumption by Batroc that led him to that. And I'm like, wow, yeah.
But I mean, it could be true, because would the power broker really come to do the dirty work?
That's the clues for me. That's what I wanted to talk about, was like, let's talk about what happened throughout the show with Sharon. Sharon shows up in Madripoor when Zemo, Bucky, and Sam were in the meeting with I forgot the lady's name now, but they was in the meeting with that lady, and what we assume is Sharon shot the lady. Like, why would the power broker shoot one of their number one people in the head, right? To save Sam and Bucky and them, right?
See, that's her jaded struggle. If she is the power broker, that's her jaded struggle of the towing the line. Because that's why I always say that scene where Zemo shot, after she said all that stuff about being a hero and how it's not all it's cracked up to be. And then in the same breath, that same episode, in the scene where Zemo shoots the scientist, she instantly reaches for his gun and pulls it away from her. That is not what a person who is against being a hero or a savior would do.
Right. Exactly.
It just doesn't add up.
Yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies between what she did throughout these 3 or 4 episodes we saw her in, and then what she ended up being revealed to be in the end. It was like, but how? Like, you literally went out there and fought all these people and killed 3/4 of the people that you hired to kill these guys. Like,
that too, but also you got to think about it too. When we initially wasn't introduced to her character, she was playing a role. She was playing both sides. She was playing Captain America, because he was kind of pissed off when he found out who she really was. You know what I'm saying?
True.
She's good at playing a role. Yeah. So who's to say what she really is doing?
She's a trained spy, right? She's a trained
she is. So who knows what she's trying to do? Who knows what her goal is really? I just don't like the way they got her playing it. Like, I don't like the way they got her playing it, because she playing it in a very like, I am mad at the world kind of way. And I think her character is a little bit better than that, based off what I've seen her do in the past.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
And I don't really like how they got her playing the character, because, girl, you can't be that mad. Even if you are that mad, you really about to just turn straight. Well, I guess, that's a villain.
Well, this is my thing, though. This is my thing. She did all that stuff for her original agency to be taken over by Hydra, which sucked, which was so crazy, because she's like, I thought I was working for the good guys all this time. Turns out I was working for the bad guys all this time. Then she helps out Captain America and the Falcon, and then they never even check on her, never even make sure she's okay. The government turns their back on her, pushes her to the side, makes her a wanted criminal. Then we get to, 5 years later, they still haven't checked up on this woman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and obviously she didn't get snapped away.
Exactly. She didn't get snapped away. So she's going 5 years. I mean, like, imagine what would have gone through her mind during a 5-year period of being, what's the word? Not being able to come home. Being a fugitive on the run, not being able to come home, and then having to build this new life in a criminal organization, right?
Yeah, so and you're a hero. Like, yeah, that would make
it's like what kind of PTSD would that give you, right?
Yeah, that's true, because they're not really speaking. That's another thing. I know it's not the Sharon Carter show, but you're not about to make this lady a bad guy and not tell me why, because I think she's a nice lady. And
I feel like they did a good job of telling us why in that episode, because she did speak directly to her gripes, her issues with everything that happened to her. One of the biggest things that stood out for me after that whole fight, and that, which I hated, the whole let's avoid fight. I want to avoid fighting. Sam got on my nerves with that. Like, bro.
Yeah,
really?
like, I mean, like, the girl want to fight you. If you can't take her down, you're going to have to take her down. Like, I mean, I get it. You're trying to break through. This is not the time. Her adrenaline is high. She done lost all her hostages. She know there's no way out. She gonna die. She's willing to die. Mm-hmm. And, you could look at Sharon and say, girl, you shot her. But yeah, you shot her 4 times though. So, I mean, like, that would be a little questionable to me. But like, when I watched it again, she was going to kill Sam. So she had to do what she had to do.
And so Sharon just did. I mean, Sharon definitely, I don't think, wanted to do what she did. She definitely didn't. She's going to make everybody cookies and then sell your car. Exactly. But I think I think she made, her decisions, her choices. Carly made her decisions, her choices, and she was going to, like you said, stick to it. So I think that was what happened was necessary. But in the end, who comes out of the basement or out of the lower level? Sam and Carly. She dead. Why are you flying Carly out and Sharon's down there shot?
Wait a minute.
So he left her behind to fend for herself once again. Like, how do y'all keep forgetting about this poor woman?
Let me tell you something. That scene pissed me off, and it made me understand everything that I needed to understand about Sharon Carter. Sharon Carter saved your life. She has a stomach wound. You can die from those. Exactly. She is literally bleeding out, and you run to be next to Carly for her to apologize for being a dumbass kid. And you sit from across the room looking at Sharon. You don't holler over, are you okay? You don't say thank you. You don't do anything. You just look at her like you mad at her for killing Carly.
Exactly.
And then you bring up a dead body of a terrorist. Now, granted, I kind of understand why he couldn't bring Sharon out, because she was an extradited fugitive, so he couldn't bring her out and be like, now y'all part of her right now, because she just helped us. But they could have done that. Now, maybe they had a conversation.
That's the thing. They weren't looking for her, right? He could have came out with her, put her on the gurney, and let them go take her to get checked out or whatever. My thing is, he left that woman down there and didn't say, like you said, didn't say nothing, didn't try to help her.
No, that bothered me so much. That scene bothered me.
And now y'all wondering why she semi-evil?
Yeah, And I mean, she ain't evil per se. She just a little bit double-sided. But when your life has always been double-sided, it's easy to play both roles, and you already know what you got to do. Right. And you'll take it to whatever extreme you got to take it to. I think she cares for Sam. I think she cares for Bucky, and she don't want her friends to die or whatever. And I think she cares for her land.
She proved that.
I think she cares for her country. You know what I'm saying? It's what her family is. And I think that's why she ultimately decided to do what she do. But I also think self-preservation is a mug. And if it came between me killing Carly or me allowing for her to live, I'm going to let her die, because she's putting it together that me and Sam cool, and she's gonna tell Sam. If she go down, she's going to tell Sam.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. So what did you think about the speech?
That's another gripe I have with the episode.
Okay.
Because the speech was fine, but he basically had a 5-minute monologue where he talked about his gripe with the world. And it's like, so this all we had. Like,
right, this is what the show about.
that's okay. I mean, cool. This is great, because he's gonna make things happen now. But like, I didn't like it because it's not realistic. It's not realistic. We're not about to sit here. John didn't say a word. Bucky didn't say a word. They put a girl on a gurney who was dead and wheeled her to an ambulance like she was alive. Right. I thought the girl was still alive. he walks past John, don't say nothing. Nobody says anything to him, even though he's not even supposed to be there and he's supposed to be like arrested. Bucky is just standing there watching him talk. We don't know where Sharon is, bleeding out.
Right.
That scene was just a weird, and this is from a filmic standpoint, from like, oh my God, Captain America is black and he's talking about the problems with the world and how they need to be fixed. And he's telling these fat cats in the government off. Yeah, that was great. But from a filmic standpoint, just like, okay, this don't make no damn sense. Like, this is not realistic at all.
Right.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it from that point of view. Like, what he said was great and all that. But I feel like that could have been like 1 minute, and then they could have apologized to John and said, you know, you all right. And Bucky could have, I don't know. It was just weird. It was weird to me. I mean, this episode was weird to me. Like, everything about this episode, there were so many points. It didn't start really getting good to me until like after this scene.
Right.
And we
this
saw
was halfway through the show at this point.
Yeah, like, and we saw everybody going back to their normal lives and everybody coming to grips with their terms and all this kind of stuff. I didn't really like it until after all of that, because a lot of that stuff didn't make sense.
Okay. Yeah, I feel you. I see how you can feel that way. For sure. Because when I was watching it the first time, I was a little like really? Yeah, you know. But then the second time I watched it, I kind of was trying to like be open-minded about what he was saying. And I was seeing the parallels to real life, seeing the things that people just want to say to these senators and these lawmakers and these governments, like, do better. Like, put yourself in these people's shoes. See why when you do certain things, when you have people who are fighting against you, the reason why they're fighting against you.
Right.
Understand what people are suffering through at your benefit, or at the all cost of what you're doing, when you don't even understand because you're not in that place. When he pointed out, like, when you guys were fighting for your lives, you saw how bad it was, and now you see how people feel when they're hopeless and this kind of thing. So it's like, those parallels I liked a lot. I
like the line when he said, you can be as powerful as a mad titan or a teenage girl. And I also liked the fact that, how we kept talking about like the snap and how people might have woke up in the house. And,
right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
We had theorized about that was right. Yeah, it was 100% right. Yep. That people literally came home to find that their houses were taken.
Yeah, by the people that lived there before them. I mean, because 5 years is a long time. Oh, you know what we also didn't speak to? I thought this was some BS. The fact that, I don't know if they felt like we saw Bucky and John fight enough, but the fact that we didn't get them to see them have an epic fight battle, they called the police.
Oh, right. Yeah. When they caught up with the Flag Smashers, they literally called the police here, like, go ahead, get them. Like, really? Like, I just knew it was going to be Bucky and Walker versus the Flag Smashers, and they was going to take them down. No,
they called the police.
Yeah, they was like, we gave y'all all the fight at the beginning of the show. Enjoy that.
But that's how season finales are sometimes, though.
And I enjoy Sam and Batroc, right? I like that fight way better. That's that Bucky and Walker fight against the Flag Smashers was probably the best fight in the whole show.
I like the one where they took the shield from Walker.
That's what I'm saying. That
fight. Okay, yeah, that was the best
montage of as soon as Bucky came in with the motorcycle, and then Walker came in with the fake shield. All that whole thing, all the way down to them falling into the pit. That whole sequence, I loved it. Because it was very action packed. It was a little bit more real in terms of what everybody was trying to do. And then you had the balancing thing and the truck on fire and all this other stuff going on. So it was a lot going on, but everything fit, everything made sense. Because like the fight with Batroc and Sam didn't make sense. The fight with Sam and Carly didn't make sense.
Not at all.
The almost fight between Carly and Sharon, that didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like all this stuff going
Sharon
on.
Ain't crazy. She wasn't about to fight her now.
No, not at all. She would have mercury vapor Carly to death before she fought her.
She wouldn't have fought her. Now, what did you think about Do you think the rest of the do you think Zemo really killed them?
Yeah. So we saw where what we thought was about to be a rescue or
a rescue mission,
a breakout attempt
yeah,
when the cop told them, one world, whatever,
one people,
put them into the thing. The van drove off, and boom, that mug went up. And it was so funny to me when they panned over to the butler, and I was cracking up. Like,
it took me a minute to realize who the hell that was. And I said, "Oh my God, Zemo, geez, you good,
exactly.
man."
So they were not playing at all.
And also, why do he have a radio that's telling him what's going on in the world? You would think being in the raft, which is supposed to be this high security prison, they wouldn't let them know what's going on in the world.
Exactly. I know. I thought so too, but no, they was letting them know. And that was funny too, because he had all his books and everything. They had moved all his stuff over there from his old German prison. Yeah, the butler's definitely a rider. That man, he was not playing, definitely. And and to your point, Clark, definitely that was weird too, that they weren't trying to get the shield back. But then I was like, well, they also just got saved by Sam, so they probably didn't want to be like, oh, you can't be Captain America. They probably just was like, okay, you know what, you can be Captain America by proxy, whatever the case may be. So, I think that was what that was about. Yeah. I was thinking about that too. Like, old boy probably was like, oh, shoot.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
We just people, nah.
Uh-huh.
We just
and so then,
what do you think about
oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Isaiah Bradley and all of that?
Oh yeah. That was a nice scene, I thought, because we got to see that interaction of them talking about the fact that hey, Isaiah Bradley wasn't expecting him to do that, but then after seeing him do it, it warmed his heart that he was like, you know what, I understand why you did it. He still didn't like it, but he was like, I understand why you do it, why you did it.
Captain
right,
America got some pull. Captain America got some pull.
Mm-hmm. So I think that that whole, and then them taking them to the museum to see his new statue and his story being up there. That's all he wanted. That's all that man wanted.
Yeah, but I thought they erased him.
They remember Sam got all the information, so I guess they either unredacted it or he told them what happened, and then they just used whatever he told them, that kind of thing. And yeah, I definitely brought them back together full circle. Like I said, I don't think Isaiah Bradley is totally like, oh, everything's cool now, but I think that that's just what he wanted. He wanted his story told. He wanted the story of his people, of his platoon told. They had the pictures of them up and as well. So I think that was like basically like, okay, out of everything, he got basically what he wanted done. In the end, we did see Val and Walker having their thing, and Walker's wife, and the introduction of the U.S. agent. I thought that was a little cheesy because Val was talking way too much. Yeah. But she did mention as well, which is another setup for the Thunderbolts. She mentioned her friend Zemo. She also mentioned possibly being taking partial credit for killing the 4 super soldiers, saying that she might have set it up. She might not have, but she probably did. And then, telling Walker that things are about to get weird, that, they're not going to need a Captain America. They're going to need a U.S. agent. And the fact is that, there's a lot of weird things coming. We know there's, aliens coming. There's gods coming. There's, more supervillains rather coming. So, things are definitely about to get weird. So she's, kind of giving us that setup for the Thunderbolts. And then we see Bucky go to Nakajima and give him the story about what happened to Galactus. Yes.
I didn't like the way he said that. The Winter Soldier killed him, and I was him. I had no choice.
He should have said I was brainwashed. I think he did.
Yes. Why did he say that?
He said I had no choice. It made it sound like I did it because I
had to.
I had to. Right.
Not like I did it because I had no control over my freaking body.
Exactly. Like, can you let this man know you were fully brainwashed? You had literally no choices.
No, you literally woke up every day and was like, your program. He probably was eating food. And then they just start saying them words and he dropped the fork. Right, and then he just pulled out the gun and started shooting. Like, no control.
Exactly. Like, let him know what you was going through, you know. But yeah, I agree, Clark. There definitely should have been a little bit more closure for him and Nakajima, but he felt like there was enough closure there. Nakajima, you know, was back at the restaurant with the girl, and so we did get to see the girl. I was right. I told y'all she was coming back for a hot second. And then we saw the party with Sam in his town. Got to see Sarah again and the boys. You know, what's his name? Bucky doing his little flex with the kids hanging from his arm.
But I think it's really interesting, you know, and I don't know if it's a testament to us as Black people or what, but I think it's really a testament that we saved him. We helped him. Yep. We fixed him. We brought him back.
Right.
I don't know. That's just me. That's just my point of view. But we did. It took for the Wakandan people and for Sam to be able to see him and accept him, and that helped him.
But you know, that's our nature, right?
It's
that's our thing. We forgive and we help people, and we redeem people. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, it just speaks to that, right? You know?
Steve couldn't even do that for Bucky. He couldn't even do that for him.
Exactly.
He accepted
Black
him.
People are the shit. Yes.
Yeah, and I just think that I don't know if it's dope from a writing standpoint, and it's dope from a. And I don't know if they did that on purpose or if they even knew that they were doing that. Right. But without him meeting the Wakandan people and without him befriending and becoming a friend and Sam befriending him, he would still be messed up. He smiled more in the last 2 episodes than I've never seen that man smile in his life. And he has a beautiful smile. And I'm so glad that he is smiling.
Right. You're like, I want to see more smiles from the Winter Soldier. Bucky needs a new code name though, because I mean he can't keep being a Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah, that's like PTSD. Right. You bringing back the memories every time you say his name.
Exactly. So I want to see Captain America and the White Wolf.
Right. Yeah, that would be good. That would be good though. So then
we got the reveal of the new title, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, during the credits. And then at the after credit scene.
Oh my girl. I just knew. You remember how we were saying we didn't think she was going to take the pardon because she wanted to do her thing? When she took that pardon, I said, girl, you are up to no good and I don't like it. I do not like it. I am not a fan.
We did not see this coming, Chevy. We did not see this coming.
I am not a fan.
I was shocked, especially because I didn't expect the pardon to include her going back to becoming Agent 13. So I definitely didn't see that whole sequence coming. So I mean, if we could have foresaw that, we probably would have called it, because we knew she was gonna get the pardon. We knew she was either gonna be on the fence about it or was gonna be like, that's nice, and walk away. Because remember, she kind of walked away during the last scene when she was, you know, shot, and Bucky had to come help her, you know, which I thought was stupid because Sam should have helped her. But, you know, like Bucky came over to help her, and you know, he was like, I'm gonna get you that pardon. She's like, they're not what they're whatever. Exactly. Yeah. So I was like, I was at that point, I was like, oh, we were right. She gonna be like, forget that pardon. I don't care about that pardon. I'm about to go back to Madripoor and be rich.
Right.
You know? So power broker being a power broker. Man,
she really, and when she started talking about, she got right outside the door steps and started calling her people.
She didn't get 5 steps out that door and made that phone call.
I was for clumped, like, Sharon, you are just doing too much, girl. I can't see you like this. Yeah. I can't see you like this. Right? I don't want you to be like this.
I was like, that scene was scary and unexpected, because I was like, I didn't know she had that in her.
Because she can play. I know, right? Because she can play it so well. And they have no freaking idea. And the only 2 people who knew, or the only people who knew, are dead.
Yes. All of them. Crazy. So now we have to worry about Sharon being a double agent for herself.
For herself.
The power broker being the power broker. Out here power brokering.
Brokering all the power. Man.
So I don't think she'll be selling the Stark Tech, but I think she'll be selling some of that
them government secrets.
Yeah, all the news government secrets. But then
definitely
she's
gonna be doing that.
Possibly in cahoots with some other bigger Marvel villain companies, right? There's a bunch of different companies. There's Hammer, there's Oscorp, there's I can't think of the other one that's from Fantastic Four.
What if she gonna be taking them down from the inside out? Like, what if Carly dying is going to make her decide that she does want to change the world, and she uses her Madripoor connections and her government connections and becomes like this spy who takes down the people from the inside, and they'll never know it's her because she's the power broker.
Right. Man, there's a lot of options with this. There's a lot of flexibility with this. There is. I don't know, because they've already strayed way past the comic books now, because Sharon Carter was not involved in the whole power broker thing in the comics. So this could go anywhere. At this point, this could literally go anywhere. Just like Lex Luthor. So I suspect we're gonna see a lot more of Sharon pop up here and there. There's probably gonna be mentions made of her name, the power broker name. So I'm looking forward to see how they work this into the new stories going forward. I'm pretty sure they'll pay this off in either Captain America 4 or in a show in between now and Captain America 4. So pretty sure we'll see that big payoff. Hopefully we don't have to wait all the way until Captain America 4 for this, but we'll see.
Yes.
So yeah. So overall, like I said, I felt like the show, even though I did have my gripes, I did have my complaints, I still felt like the show was a good 6.5.
Wait, time out. Somebody is at my door.
We both getting visitors today. What's going on?
Yes, I gotta move. I gotta go. I'll be right back.
All right. So I think it was the show itself was pretty good. Definitely check the show out if you haven't checked it out. From our recap, I'm pretty sure you could tell it was an exciting show. Lots of big reveals. Like I said, as for new trailers, shows, and movies, the new Captain America 4 was the big announcement made. I don't know what to expect from that in 23 and 24, but it should make for a very, very good movie. That's going to be only the second movie in the MCU, at least for now. It'll be only the second movie in the MCU that will have a fourth part. Let's see, what you say? That it will be the next thing coming up. What will be the next thing? The next thing coming up will be Loki. That comes out June 11th. That will be another limited series. I believe it's supposed to be 6 episodes as well. I have to double check that. I could be wrong, but that one's also going to be a limited series. It's going to be Loki, the TVA, Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, will be in it as well. And then we have Black Widow coming right after that in September. Then we have Shang-Chi in November, and then we have Spider-Man in December. So we have a lot of movies and TV shows coming up. The whole situation with this TVA situation, wrap your mind around the fact that Loki inadvertently pulled the Tesseract out of the timeline when during the events of Endgame. So he inadvertently created a whole different time stream that now has to be fixed. But the reason he has to fix it and what's going to be fixed, what needs to be fixed and all that, that's the bigger question, is why this all happened and what's going on there, and why does he have to go through this big time caper adventure to get it done? That's the question. So, and then we're going to see, how they talk about time travel and how it works, and see if it matches up with the Endgame theories. I think it does, because they talk about time streams and different timelines. I think that's what how they're going to hinge their multiverse theory on as well. I believe that it's going to be based on timelines and time streams coming off of, branching off, as well as the What If series is coming up soon. What If, I believe, is going to be the beginning of 22 is when that comes out. So, I think we're going to see a lot of this discussions of, Doctor Strange 2 comes out at the beginning of 2022 as well. So we're going to see a lot of these discussions about time travel and timelines and time streams and branches, and because all of this is going to tie back into the multiverse. So Spider-Man is also going to talk about the multiverse. So there's a lot going on with that, and I think we're going to see a lot more of those discussions in these future shows. So it's a lot, but I'm with it. I'm definitely down for it. Looking forward to Loki. Looking forward to Black Widow. Definitely looking forward to Shang-Chi, because I'm a big martial arts fan. Love that kind of stuff. Love that that genre of film. Love the action that's going to be involved in that. So definitely looking forward to Shang-Chi, and then of course very much looking forward to Spider-Man. Far From Home, see how that works out, and getting Peter Parker back involved. So
I'm back.
I was just going over all the shows and movies coming up over the next 6 months in the MCU. So
what we got? We got Spider. We got
Loki first, and then Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and then
Shang-Chi coming out before.
Shang-Chi comes out in November, and then December we have Spider-Man, and then I think March is when we have Doctor Strange 2. So, and then we also we'll have What If comes out around that same time, as well as a couple other shows, Hawkeye, and I believe the Armor Wars all comes out late next year.
When does Morbius come out?
Morbius should also be out at the beginning of next year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I know, right? Shang-Chi is definitely going to give us real karate. That's for sure.
Definitely.
Oh, the Eternals. The Eternals, not Immortals.
That's the one with Angelina Jolie, right?
Yeah.
And the lady who won the Oscar the other night, she's the director.
That comes out. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it the Eternals? Is November? I
don't have a clue.
Wait a minute. Maybe I'm getting this mixed up.
Those dates go in and out my head. Let me see. Right, I might be able to find it real quick.
Let me bring the release schedule up. All right, so we have. I'm sorry. Thank you, Clark. I was getting it all wrong. Okay, I'm sorry. So we have Loki June, Black Widow July, Shang-Chi September, The Eternals in November, and then Spider-Man in December. So The Eternals is another cosmic movie in the MCU. Like you said, we're going to see bigger stars like Angelina Jolie in that, Richard Madden and Kit Harington are all going to be in that movie. That one's about the Eternals. They're kind of basically related to like the Celestials, and they have a whole, like ancient history kind of situation. So we're going to see them come into play as well. There's a lot of, so we got a lot of movies. We got, so what else we have? What else? Oh yeah. And then, like I said, we have Doctor Strange. Oh, I don't know if this is right. Is this right? Yes, it was updated April 23rd. They said Thor: Love and Thunder is coming out in February of 22.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so Thor: Love and Thunder in February, and then Doctor Strange in March of 22. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot, a whole lot. And I believe next year we have 5 movies releasing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That means it's going to get stressful. That's exactly what that means. It's going to get stressful. Because all of this stuff is building on each other. So it's going to get stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Some big bad guys coming to kill somebody I love.
You know it. So it should be interesting. we're gonna definitely get our feel of Marvel real quick over the next 6 months, and right, I guess 8 months if you include Doctor Strange and Thor: Love and Thunder. So it should be very, very interesting.
Who is that? Oh, Galactus. That's the guy with the helmet, right?
Yeah, the giant helmet. Yeah. He was the one that sent the his Silver Surfer as his herald.
Oh, but he the one that always get the X-Men all twisted.
Exactly.
With Phoenix, he be turning Jean into Phoenix all the time, and she be
the planet
everybody
eater.
twisted.
Galactus is the planet eater.
I just remember that being like the season finale of the X-Men cartoon, and then they never have another episode after that. Like they get sucked out of the world or something.
Yeah, that was also the last movie for the Fox X-Men mutant movies was Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, which was not good.
I thought it was okay. I thought it was a not bad movie.
I didn't like it. I don't know. It's just be when I have a lot of questions at the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think for some reason, I don't know why. I think they was trying to set this up as another, stepping stone for another sequel, and I'm like,
for like Days of Future Past kind of thing.
Yeah, because they were setting up a lot of things, which I thought was weird because it's like y'all know y'all going out of business, right? What was you thinking, bro?
Did you see that New Mutants?
I did not. I didn't know it was released already. I did not know it was already released. I was looking.
Yeah, it came out last year.
Yeah, August of last year, which I did not know. I'm going to watch it because I love mutants. And I love old girl that was from Game of Thrones that's in it, Maisie Williams. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. But I didn't know it was already released. I'm like, nobody told me. Like, how did that happen? And it's basically based on the New Mutants comics. And but it's built around kind of a horror story. So
yeah, I didn't like it.
So you did watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I didn't like it.
So how would you rate it against some of the other mutant Fox mutant movies? Like, was it really, really bad? Was it just not as good as some of the better movies?
It's down there with X-Men 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's better than X-Men 3, but it's not that much.
Everything's better than X-Men 3, but dang.
Yeah, it's not good though. It's not good though.
Wow.
It's not good because I feel like this was one of these movies where they focus more on like the relationships between the people and less on like the actual, them gaining their power. I don't know. It was just like you trap some kids in a building and things happen.
Right.
But the way it played out, it's a filmic thing for me. I'm just gonna say that again.
Right.
When stuff don't make sense to me from like a standpoint of like, oh, so they just gonna do that and everybody's okay, because that makes total sense.
Yeah, right.
When stuff don't make sense to me, I won't like it.
No, I feel you. Clark said, so question, when do you think the MCU gonna show Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Silver Surfer? It's got to come. So
Never.
Okay, so this is the problem. This is the problem, I think.
Sony.
No, that's not the problem. The MCU owns the rights to all these things now.
Okay.
Through the merger with not the merger, but the takeover of Fox. But the problem is the history, right? So where they currently stand, if you think about it, through the what do they call it? The Infinity Saga, the X-Men should have already been a part of the entire Infinity Saga, right? The Fantastic Four as well. They all should have been part of that. Galactus can come after Thanos with Silver Surfer, but the problem I think is one, we have not talked about mutants from a mutant standpoint. We've only talked about Inhumans, and we've only talked about people who just have powers, right? So I think what the MCU wants to do, or what their thought process is going to be, is they're going to really introduce mutants as something else. I don't think they're going to really call them mutants, which I think they may eventually allow that to be kind of a bad word or a pseudo name for them. Like there will be people mentioning the word mutants in the from a passerby standpoint, like when the people were calling Falcon the Black Falcon, that kind of stuff. I think we'll see that happen, or they might call them mutants.
That
but
reminds me.
I don't see them technically being classified as mutants in the MCU. The other problem I see is that they're gonna split the entire team up. I can see Black Panther 2 introducing Storm, using that storyline to introduce Storm as a person that is part of the Wakandan story. I can see them introducing a couple of the other, like what's his name, Gambit, maybe even Wolverine as part of a story that's centered around something that's here on Earth, that kind of thing. We'll see some of the other mutants like Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four when we get back into the Cosmos stuff. So I think everything is going to be kind of pieced together. And so what I believe we're going to end up seeing is them stretching this whole introduction out over the course of the next 5 years. I don't think they're not just going to drop. Well, besides Fantastic Four, they're going to drop a whole Fantastic Four movie in like 24. But when it comes to the mutants and everything else, I don't see us seeing all of that dropped on us. I think they're going to piece it together across different shows, different properties over the next 4 or 5 years.
I just think it's messed up because for us, we have an X-Men, right? We have our X-Men. So even if they introduce new X-Men, we all gonna be like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, I think they'll bring in the favorites. Like I said, I think we kind of already know Storm is going to show up. The hard one I think is going to be Wolverine, because
Hugh Jackman is Wolverine to us now.
I think that's going to be a hard sell. We do also have Ryan Reynolds will be Deadpool in the MCU. We have that already too. So he will be.
I mean, James Marsden can come back and be Cyclops. James Marsden is still active.
Yeah, true that. So I mean, and that's the question too. It's like, are they going to soft reboot these characters and use the same actors? They could do that
because she's not coming back. She's too old now.
Oh yeah.
To be Jean Grey.
Right. Well,
Halle Berry wasn't a good
the girl that played her in Dark Phoenix, they could use her still.
Oh yeah, they could use her because she would be an older adult woman by then. Exactly. I mean, she ain't no kid anyway, but she looked young enough to be a kid.
Really young, yeah.
Jennifer Lawrence could still be Mystique if necessary. What's his name? Who played a young
Magneto.
Young Magneto and a young Professor X. They can still come back.
Yeah, they can still come back. Yeah. So I mean, will they reboot the characters? I kind of feel like they won't completely reboot them, but I think that they'll be soft rebooted and be interjected into different things. Now, could they use the multiverse to just bring the X-Men into the MCU? That's possible, but I just, at this point, because they've had their opportunities to introduce the multiverse, I don't see them using it in the way we want them to use it, to just force feed certain characters and certain scenarios into the MCU. I see them being very strategic, but also very careful about how they do it. Are they going to piss some people off? I don't think they care at this point. I don't think they care if they let's say they soft reboot Wolverine and introduce a whole new actor and all that kind of stuff. I don't see Kevin Feige feeling like, I'm sad that people aren't liking this. He's going to be like, deal with it. This is what we're going to do, that kind of thing.
But I mean, we're going to have to deal with it because Chadwick Boseman is dead. So, we're going to have to deal with that because we've lost a person in real life that we can't get back because they're no longer here. So that's going to be a hard sell for a lot of people because he's no longer with us.
Well, they already said they're not going to recast him, which was
in the movie.
Right. Well, in the TV shows that they're going to have, they actually already have film scenes with him, so they already have him going to be in those scenes for the TV shows that he's supposed to show up in. So that part's already done. I think they'll eventually have
a show, right? a Wakanda show.
Yeah, they're
right?
gonna have a Wakanda show. Yeah,
it's gonna be a new Black Panther in that. They were specific in their terms. They said,
well, yeah,
they're not
yeah.
gonna
We'll have a
cast
new
in
Black
another
Panther, but we won't
movie.
have a new T'Challa.
And
T'Challa will always be Chadwick Boseman. We will never get another T'Challa. And they filmed all the scenes they need for him to be not in the new Wakanda show, but in the other shows surrounding that. So I think they'll play that off, and then once they get to the Black Panther or the Wakanda series, whatever that's going to be called, I can see them either already introducing the concept of this new Black Panther being chosen or new Black Panther being crowned, and then we'll see that happen in Black Panther 2 once that movie releases next year. So, which is that's coming the end of next year, like November or September or something like that. So it's fast. Everything is coming fast. 4 movies this year, 5 movies next year. So,
but that's the thing. The break was during the pandemic, so everything was on a break anyway.
Exactly. True that.
Because
so,
we was only supposed to get like 2 movies last year, right?
Exactly.
We was only supposed to get 2 movies or something.
We need these 9 movies. We need that.
Yeah, because we weren't supposed to really get nothing much last year anyway. The stuff that came out, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, they came out when they were supposed to come out. Because that's when they were supposed to come out anyway. The only thing that really got pushed back bad was Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow, and Spider-Man. Spider-Man should have been released last year as well, or the beginning of this year. So yeah, so that was the only things they really got pushed back really bad. Shang-Chi, I believe, was supposed to have been out this summer. So
and Morbius got pushed back.
Oh yeah, Morbius got pushed
and Venom got pushed back real bad.
Yeah, that one's a whole another year, right? So.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm. So I think we have a lot to look forward to. You know, a lot of speculation on everything else. The multiverse thing, you know, not until we get to Doctor Strange will we really see. Well, maybe Spider-Man. Maybe we'll get a glimpse of what they're going to do with the multiverse in Spider-Man, because I mean, we do have some things that are supposed to happen in Spider-Man that introduce the whole concept of the multiverse that we want to see. But that's still also technically a Sony project, so it's like, will the MCU, will the Marvel's part of the MCU follow that? Who knows, right? We don't know. Not until we see what happens in Doctor Strange to see what they really mean by multiverse and see how they play that, and if it reveals, you know, some kind of bigger plan to really pull in, you know, new characters that were old characters from before, that kind of thing. So we'll see. But yeah, Gambit, we definitely need a Gambit, man. We actually should have had a Gambit movie a couple of years ago that got pushed back, and now was taken off.
Because what it was supposed to be, it was supposed to be Channing Tatum. I wish it would have been Brad Pitt, though.
Brad Pitt?
Yes.
That's the Gambit?
Yes, but this has been years past. I'm talking about when X-Men first came out. I was saying Brad Pitt should be Gambit.
Like a few years ago. I'm like,
no, I mean like X-Men because Brad Pitt old now. He's like 50.
You're talking about during the X2 days.
Yes, I'm talking about when X-Men first came out. When is they putting Brad Pitt in the suit?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I feel you now. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that one. Yeah, that would. He
would have that accent down.
Yeah, from Vampire Theory. From the Vampire Theory.
Yes, he would have had the accent down. He is beautiful because Gambit is a beautiful man. He had the hair. He already ready. Just need to learn how to do some card tricks.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
But I don't know who would play him now. I don't know who would replace Hugh Jackman. I don't know, I don't know, because they never replaced, like even in Days of Future Past, they never replaced Hugh Jackman's. Everybody was a younger version of themselves, but Wolverine was already old at that point, because they did have him at the end of one of them when they were trying to get the initiatives together. I think it was the first one. At the end of the first Days of Future Past, they had the cut scene where they were going to find people, and he was in that cut scene, and he was like, "No."
Right. Yeah. So the Gambit movie was in early development back in 2003 during the X2
Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and then
because I heard it was supposed to be Brad Pitt,
really?
And then they changed it to Channing Tatum. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then they ended up pushing it back, and then sometime in 2014, they actually had a whole producer. They had began planning the film. They had Channing Tatum already lined up and all that. I think he even showed up at Comic-Con and did a whole Comic-Con panel and everything. So it's crazy that all of that was planned out and everything, but ended up
on the kitchen
scrapping
floor.
it. Like, it was supposed to end up even having a 2020 release date, but then the Fox sale happened. Disney bought Fox, and then Disney canceled the movie back in May of 2019. So yeah, so there's a script out there and everything. The script, there's development stuff already done.
That's probably why they canceled it, because it's probably not great.
That was what?
It probably wasn't great.
Yeah, that's what I think part of it was. Marvel is on a roll. For the most part, they can do no wrong at this point, but they also are very calculated and very good at what they do. Even in a TV show that was basically a 4.5-hour movie, it was still calculated, still very well done, very, very well plotted out. We got all the character development, which they're definitely known for. I was just talking to somebody today about the difference between MCU and DCEU, and the fact that I watched part of the Snyder Cut. And the fact that there's no character development in these DC movies. And I was so just outdone by how the fact that the movie sucked from the start. Like, it was like a whole hour of no dialogue. They were flying around doing these flybys of different stuff going on, never explaining what they were doing, what we were looking at. I'm like, I only know these are mother boxes because I know the lore and I know the story from the comics, but this doesn't make sense in this movie, the stuff that they were showing. It was just a bunch of just mess. It was just, they threw together a bunch of mess, and then
But the original is worse.
The who?
The original is
worse.
Yeah,
the original was even worse. Yeah, the original was.
You really didn't know what the hell was going on.
I didn't understand what was going on at the beginning of this one either, so I just gave up on it. I tried to watch it 3 times, and I got all the way to like the 90-minute mark, and I just I can't take anymore. It's stupid. The whole movie is stupid. Like, it makes no sense. There's nothing making sense in this whole movie, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. So I gave up.
It was better than the original, though.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I thought both of them were trash. So I was like, throw the whole company away. Just literally throw the whole company away. Like, don't ever make another DC movie, please. Ever. Like, ever.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I was so done with that. I'm like, once again, bamboozled into watching this garbage, and yeah, it was garbage. So
I understand. It wasn't. I mean, but did you see how much of that they left on the cutting room floor, though? That didn't tell any of the story.
Well, for the number one thing I noticed was that in the original, I think Steppenwolf didn't show up till like halfway through the movie.
Yeah,
but we saw him like 2 or 3 times during that first like 14 or 15 minutes of the show.
I mean, the scene in the Amazons was amazing. I was like, they didn't have any of that in there.
Yeah, a lot of the flybys and stuff were cut out of that original movie, and then a lot of the kind of the setup for
them going and picking the people and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the what's his name? The cyborg.
His whole story was cut out the movie.
Right. That was the one part that I kind of appreciated, because finally some character development, and I realized I didn't I think, yeah, bro, you should have told me to do the same thing. But that was the one thing that I hated about the original version of the movie, was that we just basically got a glimpse of Cyborg, and the next, he was on the team. Like, they never showed him getting picked up or anything. It was like, come on, let's go.
He came with the mother box, and that was it.
He just shows up. Like,
but what if the reason why they didn't do character development for Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman is because they already had their own standalone movies? Because they did do a backstory for the Flash, and they did do a backstory for Cyborg in the Snyder's cut. Right.
Yeah. I guess I'll take that back. I did like the backstory for Flash. That part was interesting. It was once again no dialogue. What was with them and no dialogue? Like, who wrote these movies that there's no dialogue in it? But from the visual standpoint, I could understand what was happening in the Flash's backstory. Like I understood it. I got it. Actually, I got the Cyborg one too a little bit. Not everything, because it was so much happening to Cyborg and what was going on, but I got it, right? Only thing I don't like is that they're stuffing these origin stories into another whole movie. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, can you give me just a piece of who this person is without giving me this whole origin?
But that's where they messed up.
Another movie.
That's where they messed up. It took 2 movies for them to establish every character from the Avengers. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, a lot of those characters they established, like Black Widow, they established in Iron Man 2. You know what I'm saying? They didn't just throw these people. You can't make a team movie and just throw people in the team movie. They have to be developed in another movie in order for us to know who they are and actually appreciate the characters. By the time we got to Avengers, there may have been a couple of characters, it's funny.
He said the whole first 2 pages were blank. Exactly. It's like these, and in the middle it says these pages are meant to be blank.
But not only that, I think that it's like in Avengers Civil War, right? They introduced Spider-Man to the MCU, but Spider-Man needs no introduction.
Exactly.
We're just excited to see him. Mm-hmm. I mean, even the Incredible Hulk, we didn't need movies to introduce us to him.
Right.
But when he was reintroduced as Mark Ruffalo, he needed no introduction. You know what I'm saying? It's
they still developed him over the course of a couple of movies. That's the thing. They know how to do great character development in MCU, and DC is just sucking at that. It's
because they're trying to do what Marvel did in one movie.
Captain
America got 3 movies. Iron Man got 3 movies. Thor got 3 movies.
Yeah.
It's 4 Avenger movies.
And 4 Avenger movies, right? Before we finally see the whole team,
And Black Panther did a good job of introducing his character, but they didn't introduce him in Black Panther. They introduced him in Winter Soldier.
Exactly. So yeah, it's like you definitely have to give people at least some stuff, and then come back and give you the whole story, but in their own movie. Don't do it all in this movie.
Right.
They did that with Batman in the BVS movie. You know what I'm saying? They basically gave us a whole nother Batman.
Oh, I hate that movie.
Why did we need a Batman
I hate that
story in BVS? I'm like, bro, this movie.
I'm so tired of seeing them pearls fall on the ground.
Oh
I'm so tired of seeing them pearls fall on the ground.
Exactly.
If I see them pearls fall on the ground one more time and it's not Batman Returns, I'm gonna be sick.
Exactly. The Joker always shooting somebody or whoever they tried to call it this time. They didn't even call it the Joker this time. It was just some random guy. I'm like,
now I know that
trying to reinvent Batman.
Batman has different, because they got the different worlds or whatever. Do his parents die the same way in every world? Because I feel like his parents die the same way in every world, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. Every way, every time. Now, in contrast, they did a good job in Man of Steel of world building. I can't think of the name of the planet.
Metropolis? No,
the planet that he came from. Oh God! Well, we've drawn a blank on his planet. Krypton, right? Krypton.
Yeah, that's Krypton. Sure.
So they did a great job of world building Krypton and giving us a full backstory. But that's how you do it. You're supposed to do a whole movie about this person. Give us all you want in this one movie, not as a part of some other person's movie or some team up movie. You throw a whole origin story in the middle of it. That's stupid.
The best they've done in that little gray sepia grouping to me is Wonder Woman, the first one.
Yeah.
That movie is amazing.
I love the first Wonder Woman movie. That was the best DCEU movie. And it ranked up there with some of the better superhero movies, especially solo movies. It definitely ranked up near maybe top 15, maybe top 20 movies.
I rewatch that often.
That one I've watched several times.
But I also watch Captain Marvel often too. So
yeah, we're gonna talk about that. I still don't understand that one, but yeah. Now Guardians, I don't know how Marvel pulled Guardians off. I just don't, because that movie was
just amazing.
It was so good, but they gave us origins, character development, comedy, action in one. The movie was only what, 90 minutes or just under 2 hours? Like, how did y'all do that, Marvel? I don't understand.
But, they also didn't tell you everything, because those characters in that movie are so pivotal to the whole end game and in Infinity War. Exactly. So they told you just enough about each character, but didn't tell you, because we don't even see Thanos in those movies, correct?
No.
So we don't even know their connection. We just know they got we know Gamora and her sister have a terrible ass father that they both hate, and they hate him for different reasons, but we don't find out until Infinity War, or is it Endgame?
I think we found out in Guardians 2, I believe.
Okay. But keeping that a secret, and they being so pivotal, especially the sister played by the girl from Jumanji, being so pivotal to them being able to get the glove.
You know her as the girl from Jumanji, but she's
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, for me. I love her in Doctor Who.
I really knew her from this movie that came out, this scary movie that came out a few years ago about the people in the mirror. Movie freaked me out.
I remember that.
I respected her after that, because I didn't know who she was when I went to go see that movie, and I just thought her acting was top-notch acting. I mean, I didn't like that movie, but she made me like that movie because she was acting her butt off, and I didn't even realize she was in because of the makeup. I didn't even realize that was her.
Exactly.
Shit, after both of them had came out, I think.
I knew who she was once, because they were talking about who the cast and all that stuff, and then they introduced her. I'm like, that's her? Like, that's crazy. I love Karen Gillan. So she's been in so many crazy movies, but good stuff, So I love Karen Gillan.
She's a really good actress.
She is. She's amazing. Yeah,
she really impressed me when me and Devin. I think me and Devin went to go see that crazy movie about the people in the mirror. What's the name of that movie? That movie was crazy as hell. It was so depressing. It had no goodness in it. It was just like.
Is it All Creatures Here Below?
No, it's I don't know. What's the girl name? Oh, here she go. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
It's Karen Gillan. But so I definitely Oculus.
Oculus.
Wrong, but that's it. Yeah.
That movie is a mess. It's a mess because it's so depressing. It's nothing good about it. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just not it reminds you of Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, okay, got you.
It leaves you feeling very despondent at the end. It's like, oh, so that's how okay.
Right.
This is a sad ass horror film. Nobody wins,
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins. Wow. I mean, the bad guys prevail. Like
terrible.
Oh no, but she was really good in it. I suggest everybody go watch her good acting.
Yeah, definitely. So what was I about to say? Oh, the damn mirrors.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Some scary people in the mirrors.
So let's definitely do this again when Loki comes out.
Yes. Yes.
Bring the recaps to the people. Let them know what we're doing, and then have some more theories and being prepared for the movies and all that kind of stuff. So definitely looking forward to Loki. Time travel, that's my thing. So.
I am too. I'm definitely looking forward to learning something because I don't know what I'm in for. I have no idea what to expect at all. It's the same thing with Shang-Chi. I don't know. Like I said the other day, if it wasn't for Fine Men, I would not be here. There's only one franchise that I went to for a Fine Man that I do not like still to this day, and that's Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
I still never got into it. I tried to watch it several times, and it just did not appeal to me. I like everything in the Harry Potter, but it's no Fine Men in that. So
Right,
that don't count. But yeah, I mean, I would not be here. But I'm here because beautiful people,
Right.
Gotta love the beautiful people.
We had a great time too, Clark. Appreciate you showing up. Make sure y'all come back tomorrow. Me and Clark will be doing a review and recap of Mortal Kombat. The new Mortal Kombat movie just dropped, I think, last week worldwide. So we are going to be doing a review and recap of that and try to keep from getting deleted again. I'm so ready too, bro. Definitely looking forward to it. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. But yeah,
I hope Devin bring his list because he had a 12-point list.
Yeah,
he had a bulletin.
I'm sure he does because I heard this movie turned a lot of true Mortal Kombat fans off. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, you realize, like I realized, like, oh, I know something about Mortal Kombat because this is not it. This is not it.
Well, tell them where to find you at tomorrow.
Well, guys, tomorrow we're taking a break because we're going on a special adventure. So tomorrow night on Chevy the Superstar, my channel, we'll be running a rerun of an episode of my choosing. And next week, if you do not follow me at Chevy the Superstar, go ahead and follow me because we are doing a live stream from a special location somewhere in the world. And we will be coming live on one of the days next week. We don't know which day yet. So just turn on the notifications and follow me. And then you will be able to see that. And we will be there live in color, giving y'all a little movie news, showing y'all where we at, having a little fun, maybe having a little drink. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just hit the follow. Follow me at Chevy the Superstar on Twitch and S the Superstar on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, do that. Yes.
No doubt. I just lost my thing again. Yeah, it just went out on me again. This laptop, man, I tell you, it's I guess it's about that time to replace it. So figure that out. But you guys know where to find me. It's your boy Willie Stylez in the building. Make sure you get at me at Willie Stylez everywhere, IG, Twitter, TikTok. I'm Willie.Stylez on Snapchat. You can also find me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to. Like I said, tomorrow there will not be a Stylez Radio takeover. There'll just be a Willie Stylez takeover with Clark Nove. We'll be doing Mortal Kombat recap and review, so make sure you get at us for that. As always, WillieStylez.info for all my links. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great night as usual. And we'll be on the lookout for Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Thanks a lot, Chevy. Thanks a lot, everybody. All the comments. Appreciate y'all. And we'll see y'all in a few days.
Bye, y'all.
Hey, guys. It's your girl, Sunny D, 1/3 of the podcast, GFT Radio Show.
What up, though? It's your boy, Willie Stylez from the GFT Radio Show. Just letting you know you can catch us every Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern.
And to get some merch, I got some on right now. Go to teesprings.com/stores/GFT Radio.
Grown Folk Talk Radio. Join the conversation. Let's have some fun. Holla.